What up, everybody? This is the Spark Up Podcast, and I am here with a very special guest. But before I get to that guest, I am Christina Sev. You can follow me on Instagram at CRISTINASCV_. Don't you ever in your life put an H in my name. It's very disrespectful. People have been doing that to me lately, and I'm like, bruh, why are you doing that? Anyway, you can follow the Spark Up Podcast on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, anywhere you find podcasts, you can find this podcast. And this podcast ain't for everybody, but hopefully it's for you. And if it is, hit that like, share, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. And yeah, I'm here with an old friend. We've known each other for a long time now, and I've watched you grow and do all these really cool things. But today we're talking about one thing in particular. We're talking about the short documentary that I want to say recently. I don't know how long ago you shot.
Yeah, no, that's a good question.
Yeah. We're here to talk about A League All of Your Own. But before we get into all that, I'm here with filmmaker and artist Steven Luna. Yay! See, that's when the sound effects are. Yeah. Of course, I know you as a different name, and I talked about that on the last podcast. Your original name.
Did I talk about that?
Yeah, you did. Yeah.
Yeah.
You're like, let's leave that in the past.
No, I could bring it up again.
Okay.
I could share it.
No, you don't have to. It's not a big deal.
It's funny because it's still something that I'm like, man, I gotta figure that out at some point. I gotta go like legally.
Oh, legally, that's still your name.
Stephen Barthélemy is still my name.
Wow, so you're a fraud.
I'm a fraud.
What is your art name? Your artistic name?
So my mom is Margarita Luna, and so I was born Stephen Luna, but when my parents, and I actually found this out maybe a little more recently, but when my parents got divorced, part of like my mom's terms for like getting some sort of support from my father was like changing my last name to his. And so I had to learn how to spell Barthélemy in like the fifth grade.
Yeah. I think I spelled it wrong actually myself. I spelled it Bartheleme.
No, yeah, see, it's Y at the end.
Oh, so Y, okay. Yeah.
Damn.
I also said it sounds
I'm leaving.
I also said it sounds like a medieval last name.
It's I think it's French Cuban. It comes from like it comes from there was like a big French migration into Cuba, and my abuelo from my father's side is from Baracoa in Cuba, so like the eastern side of the island. And there's actually a little island off the coast of Cuba called Saint Bartholomew or something like this. Yeah.
Wow.
So it has like,
you know so much.
Yeah, it has like, it has roots in France somewhere. I don't know.
Okay, colonizers.
Exactly.
Slavery, all that good stuff.
Yeah.
But you're just a young kid from the West End who used to let me copy off his work. I want people to know and understand that the reason why I stand here as a college graduate is because of all the times you let me copy the answers off of your paper. So
who's the fraud now? No, I'm kidding.
Shout out to you. But you've come a long way. And it's been really a pleasure to watch all your work via Instagram. I'm always in your DMs with the fire emojis and like telling you how proud I am. So the last time we caught up was for your last film, To Be Heard, which came out in 2019.
2019.
And I think we recorded in 2020, if I'm not mistaken, according to Spotify here. But that was no small project, even though it was a short film. It was selected for the Rhode Island International Film Festival, Seattle Latino Film, Official Latino Film Festival, Indie Visions Film Festival, and the 401 Film Festival. How does it feel for your work to be recognized nationally in that way?
That's a great question. I don't know. I'm still struggling with that. Even like Fiebre, like this current film. You know, it's doing okay. Like it won Best Documentary Short Film at Oklahoma Cine Latino Film Festival. It got into Chicago Latino Film Festival, which is the
Oops. Go ahead, sorry.
No, you're good. It got into Chicago Latino Film Festival, which is which I didn't know this, but I found out it's like the longest running Latino film festival in the country.
Wow.
And so it was the 41st year this year. But yeah, everyone is just like, you know, wow, amazing. And I'm just like, sure, yeah. Like, you know, like, I don't know. I guess part of what's hard with filmmaking too is like, you do it and then you don't see it for a little bit, and then you work on it, and then it's out, and then it gets, you know, by the time it gets to this point that Fiebre is at, I shot that film like 2 years ago. But you know, I shot it with no money and on a really low budget, and I shot it purely out of passion and wanting to make something revolving around baseball in Dominican Republic. And so, you know, it's not like I'm getting paid to edit the film. I had to juggle my full-time job, like, you know, freelancing, gigging, and doing all the shit while finding time and inspiration to like sit and edit that film. And, you know, we had like over 20 something hours of footage. We shot 12 hours a day for 5 days. And that's all we did, because that's all I had money to do. Yeah, and we did it with like a really small crew, and we had 3 different cameras. So, you know, it was a lot of stuff to sift through. And then not only sift through, but you got to log all the footage and organize it, and then, you know, build the story and start to see like what direction you want to take it in. And that took a lot of time. It took like a year really to cut something
Like
solid.
to find the story within.
Yeah.
all that.
And then, you know, I remember like last summer, I was just like, I have to finish this film. And I just like went to sleep, like dreaming about it. And I'm like, something's got to come of this, because otherwise I'm going to run the clock too far, you know? And then it hit me and I was like, oh, okay, I have an angle. Because, you know, I'm aware it's 16 minutes. It's a 16-minute short documentary film. And like, there's things that I would do that I would still want to get. You know, there's a lot more story to tell there.
Oh yeah,
but
it's jam-packed.
Yeah, exactly. But I was like, I have what I have, and how can I make something from that? And so it was really hard to kind of think about it. A lot of nights, like 2 a.m., just sitting in front of the computer and editing and figuring it out. And a lot of encouragement from my wife. So
Shout out to the wife.
yes. But it happened. And yeah, eventually, now here we are, but it's hard to celebrate it. It's like, there's still more things. I want to do. There's other projects now at this point that I'm working on that I'm excited about too. So it's hard to sit with the accolades. And I think the older I'm getting too, like the more I'm like, I find pride to be less useful.
Explain that.
Like, you know, like, sure, I'm proud of the film and proud of the things, but at the end of the day, that's not what drives me. You know, like, pride, I think, stems from ego. And I think that's something that I've been trying to break down. Like, as a man, as a Latina person, you know, like, our people can be very prideful.
Yeah.
So, you know, I try to find like, there's not much use in that emotion for me. I think, you know, it's not my driver, because it doesn't say what I want to say about the film. You know, like, it's not about me, and that's something I've been grappling with too. Is like, the film is about these kids, and it's about this community, and it's about baseball, all these things that I love, and I'm just a very small part of that. You know, I'm just there to tell the story.
Yeah, no, I think you did a very good job in that. And I can feel that through all your work, is that you're really telling stories with, whether it's photography or film. I think you've even done music videos as well. So
yeah,
I think you've done a pretty good job at telling stories and telling people's stories, and also like serving that to people. Like, even the way you write your captions and the way you present your product is very intentional. So I think you're doing a good job at that. And you're right. I think as creatives, it's hard to, at first, right, to like not want that validation because it is a lot of work.
Yeah.
And it's a long process.
Yeah.
And before the film comes out, it's like you've lived with this for 2 years, you said. So
Yeah.
I understand that completely. And like wanting to put your name on things like, no, people have to know I did this because I spent so much time on it.
Yeah.
But then you lose the essence of the very thing that you made.
Yeah. And it's valid, right? Like, I mean, it's okay. Like if that's your motivator at some point, right? Like, I know it was for me. Like I thought like I deserve to be doing this kind of art and this work. And it was a big driver at one point, but now that I know how to do it. And now that I've gotten to a point that I can do it, it's not what pushes me anymore. It's not like it's almost embarrassing sometimes to be like, oh, directed by Steven Luna. Okay. Like, let's move on. Like, I'm like, you know, cause I'm just like, yeah, it's just, I really love the art of filmmaking so much, and I believe in it, and I believe in the power of community, and I think that's what most excites me about a film. You can't do it on your own. It's all about people in front of the camera, behind the camera, working together towards a vision. And you know, have you seen Sing Sing?
Sing Sing? No.
It's an Oscar-nominated film last year, but a beautiful, beautiful film that really disrupts that idea of like the director is the star and the you know, Coleman Domingo is like the headliner of this film, and you know, because everyone that worked on that film got paid the same amount.
Oh, wow.
And they got, it was like equally distributed amongst everyone that worked on that film. Coleman Domingo made the same as some other you know, small time actor that worked on the film, maybe for like,
That's
did it
humbling.
They did it on like a day rate situation, and they all share ownership of the film. And to me, that is filmmaking. That is what filmmaking should be. That's what the industry should be doing. Because yeah, it just makes it more accessible. It makes it more fair, I think. And it gives so much more room for other voices and other stories to kind of come to the forefront. And that film's phenomenal. It's written by a former inmate and his journey to art, and how he kind of, you know, learned through theater and acting, you know, how to cope with his trauma. And it's a beautiful, beautiful story. I highly recommend it. But yeah, I think that model is something that like I hope to carry and to do. Yeah.
Yeah, that's amazing. I didn't know that about that film. That was in this last award season, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, in speaking of that, you know, I think there's a lot of conversation around ownership, right, in film, and how a lot of film is produced by these big old companies that, you know, people never see ownership for. They lose their rights and stuff. Like Marlon Wayans was talking about this recently, and how his family got robbed of a lot of their ideas and their publishing and their money and essentially their legacy, right?
Yeah.
But what we are seeing today, I think, is that is shifting. With Ryan Coogler's film Sinners that just came out. I was reading about this. I can't find the post that I found, but he did this deal with Warner Brothers that after 25 years, he'll have 100% ownership of the film, which for some people is like, okay, 25 years from now, like, what is that effect? And I'm like, the difference is that he has the foresight and he understands the power of this film, and also what an amazing thing to have that kind of leverage, right? Like to be able to do that.
And let's keep in mind, Ryan Coogler has done Black Panther, Fruitvale Station,
Creed.
Like he's done all these, and he still had to get 25 years wait time. You know what I'm saying? Like it's hard to get those things approved. And I've been in some of those spaces at this point, like talking to producers, and I'm like, this is my idea, but I own how much of it? What? Like it's absurd. But they look you in the face and they're like, you know, that's how it is. This is industry standard, and this is blah 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 blah. And I'm just like, yo, fuck the industry. Like, first of all, why is it that way? Why should it be that way? Why can't I question that? And why shouldn't you empower that as a producer? Like there's so many ways that we should be disrupting the industry and making original films. I mean, like everyone is tired of fucking sequels and remakes and all these things. And like Sinners is fantastic because it's original.
It's very original, yeah.
It's incredible. And, you know, I remember seeing it and I was immediately like, I want to watch it again.
Me too.
And it's going to continue to be a success, like I'm sure. But that's a original film, an original idea that's doing
Written,
incredible. Yeah. Like there is no way that Hollywood can look everyone in the face and say, oh, there's just no one wants original content. People want to pay for Marvel. People want to pay for remakes. People want to pay. That's bullshit. They want you to believe that because they don't want the original stuff like this that questions culture and
Right, and breaks the mold.
Yeah, coming to the forefront.
Yeah.
And it's all a ruse, and now I'm never gonna work in the industry again.
I was about to say, how does that make you feel as a filmmaker? Even though obviously you're
I've already come to terms with like I'm just gonna do shit myself, and I've been doing it myself for a long time.
Wow.
And I'm gonna die making films. I know that for a fact. I'm gonna keep doing that shit until I can't no more.
You should grow your hair out until you like break your first million. See how long those curls grow out, and we'll really know how.
We might be waiting a long time for that one.
We'll know the progress by looking at the top of your head. But so much has happened since our full conversation on the podcast, and you made a lot of done a lot of dope projects, and you also had a big loss in the process of all of this stuff. Rest in peace to your grandmother. And you got married recently, and you're in your 30s now. The last time we spoke, we were 5 years younger.
That's
so
crazy,
I don't know quick maths. I'm tired. I'm an English major. Am I? But how has loss changed the way you approach your work, if at all?
Oh man, that's a great question. I mean, yeah, grief informs so much of my work, I think. When my grandmother died, it's still really painful. I mean, yeah, I think about that daily. 'Cause she helped raise me. She was one of the women in my life that raised me. And, you know, you always think like, you know, I'm sure everyone has like, man, one day I'm going to lose this person that I love. And I'm going to have to learn how to deal with that. And I always told myself that I would be in the room with her when that happened. I don't care what I was doing. I would stop it and be there. And she happened to die during COVID in the first wave in New York. And so I couldn't be there. Nobody could be there. So, you know, we had to be there through an iPad. Yeah, it's still like super devastating. And I think grief is one of the most like underrated motivators in life. Like I feel like we're always grieving things, but we don't know how to deal with grief. And you know, that's something that I think I've been understanding and learning a lot, especially I guess in the last 5 years since that happened, is that it's everywhere. We're always grieving something. And I think you just got to be bold enough to kind of stare at it. And, you know, even if you think about like indigenous cultures and things, right? Like grief was handled differently. It wasn't like, oh, let's cry about it for a day and bury and back to work the next day. You know, it was like, this is a celebration of life, you know, like this is a journey and one that we're on together. And it connects everyone. Everyone's going to experience grief at some point. And so it really affects the way that I look at everything that I do. Because I think it's the way that I can connect with people the most. Yeah, because I know everybody has lost something important. And whether society took it from you or not, like it's going to happen, you know? And so I don't know, it helps me see the world in like I guess maybe a more gentle way, a more caring way, a more compassionate way. And empathy is kind of like the biggest motivator for all my art at this point in my work. And the camera is such a good tool for me, at least, to kind of express that empathy and to work with people in a space. I feel like I see the world better when I'm looking through a camera. Yeah.
Wow, that's powerful. I love that. It's such a beautiful way to express the way you produce your work. I mean, and I've known you since you were young, and I feel like you've always been such a good person and such a kind person, besides the fact that you let me cheat off of you. But I feel like, and Madeline is in the room, who also grew up with us in school, and I feel like she can agree and attest to your character. And I feel like people like that make some of the most, like, I don't want to say heartwarming because that feels kind of corny, but yeah, like when I watched Fiebre, I was in tears. Like just thinking about it makes me emotional. I'm also in like a very emotional stage. I don't know what's happening. Maybe it's age. But I watched it and I thought about a lot of things. And I think a lot of the things I thought about was like loss, and not maybe so much the loss of someone in the physical, but like for those kids in that film, right? Like not all of them will make it to the major leagues. And I think a lot of people in Dominican Republic, and people will see this, I don't want to give any spoilers, but this is a known fact that people kind of like pray and push their kids towards baseball because they know it's a way out, not only for them, but their entire family. I mean, you're talking millions of dollars in a contract, right? They get paid a lot of money.
It's
especially
almost,
if you're really good.
Yeah, it's almost like a free lottery ticket to
Exactly.
a lot of people on the island. You know, it's like, I just got to be good at hitting the ball and like doing this. I could do that. Mm-hmm. But you actually are paying a lot. Like you're paying something, and you know, these kids dedicate so much of their body and their youth to this sport. And you know, a fraction make it off the island, even if you get signed on the island, right? Like, there's no guarantee that you're going to make it to the States. There's no guarantee you're going to make it up single A, double A, triple A, and then boom, in the majors, you know, like it's a process to get to that point. But these kids have nothing but hope and drive
And time.
Yeah. And it's beautiful. It's sad. It's inspiring. It's all these things. And I think that's what motivated me to kind of, and it's funny because I think it's before I even knew how to make a film, like it was probably the first film I thought of. Cause you know, when I fell in love with baseball, and we talked about this a little bit, but, you know, it was back when like the '04 Red Sox and all that went down. Because my stepdad, who's from the island, who was born in Bonao, he would tell me stories of like playing as a kid and what that was like, and using milk cartons and like rolling up tape, and like, you know, they would use whatever they had,
bottle caps,
water, literally anything that they could get their hands on to like play baseball. And you know, here I was, some kid in Providence, and I had a glove and I had a bat. Didn't have much, but I had enough to like play the sport, you know? So I was always like, man, what is that like? Or what does that look like? And I was like, I knew very early in my career that I wanted to tell a story about baseball in Dominican Republic. And so, I happen to be, my mom lives there now, like full time.
Really?
Yeah. She sold.
Retired.
Yeah. She retired a while ago. She sold the house that we had here, and now lives on the island. Yeah,
wow.
Full time.
So you have to go to DR, which is such a pro.
I have to go to DR. Yeah.
Like,
I love
oh God, not DR.
No, that flight is tough sometimes, but I love going. And so, yeah, so I had to go visit her, and I was like, you know, why not maybe go a week early, do some research, find an academy, you know, start to like meet some players, some coaches, and just put some feelers out, you know. And so I started doing research, like found this academy that seemed, you know, pretty ethical in how it treated its players. Not a lot of academies do treat their players pretty well on the island, but some do. And you know, this academy like houses them, feeds them, makes sure there's time for school, all these things, right? So I reached out to them, just kind of like cold email, like, hey, I'm a filmmaker. I'm gonna be on the island like around this time. Would you be interested in meeting? Like, I would love to like maybe do a video or something, and like maybe I can bring a camera and just snap some photos or whatever. You know, I thought very like let me just not
Let me see what I can
yeah,
get.
let me start to build rapport and like make that connection. But they hit me back and they were like, what? That's crazy. We literally were just talking about like making a video and blah 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 blah.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow.
And so then we got like on a Zoom call and then hit it off like immediately. Like they could tell that how much I love baseball and knew baseball, and I could tell how much they love baseball and knew baseball. And I think we just trusted each other immediately. And we're like, okay, so why don't we do some sort of trade? Like, you just let me go, bring a crew, shoot for a week, 5 days. In exchange, I give you some marketing material, and you let me do whatever I want with a film, and
Wow.
like my creative control over the film. And they were like, absolutely. And so, so that's what happened. Then I showed up, shot for like 12 hours a day, and then
Sheesh. For a week straight, you said?
yeah, 5 days straight.
My goodness, that's a lot of time.
From like before the sunset or sunrise, and then to after the sunset. And so we did that for 5 days in a row, and then that's it.
Yeah.
And then I gave them some stuff right away, like within like 3 months. And then I was like, okay, now I got to make a film.
Wow, I love that worked out just so
No, sometimes
perfectly.
Sometimes, yeah, just email people. You never know. If you're thinking of something, like just ask. Worst that can happen is no,
Or they ignore it.
or they ignore it.
Yeah.
Which that happens more often than not.
Yeah, I know the feeling. I do that for a living. So no, but you talked about falling in love with baseball, and I think that's another reason why I, was so emotional in the film, because just, similar to you, my stepfather introduced me to baseball as well, but it wasn't because he played. He actually was not good at any sports. And that's how we ended up bonding, because when he first moved into my house, I hated his guts for like 2 years. And then watching baseball, I started to love him. Like I didn't have my father. So
Yeah,
to
same.
me, this is what like a daughter-father relationship looks like. We watch sports or whatever. I don't know what dads do. But yeah, so, I became very faithful to the game, and I started to learn all the players. I didn't remember their stats, but I knew who was good enough when they were on the mound and when they were batting. And when 2004 came around, feeding into the curse and like the curse being broken. And I remember that being such a magical moment for my home. Like we were so excited. Like I cried when they won the playoffs.
Yeah.
Cause I just I was young, but I just felt like, wow, something historic is happening.
Yeah.
And it was, right? It was their first time winning in 86 years.
Yeah.
And so, watching that film, I thought of that. And then I also thought about my experience in the Elmwood Little League, right? Because all the proceeds that are collected that night are going to the Elmwood Little League. Yeah. And I think just about everybody in Providence has either been in the Elmwood Little League or know somebody that has played in that.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So how long did you play for?
Oh man, I played up until I think I started around like 8-9 years old at Elmwood Little League, and then I played up until I moved to Florida after middle school.
Wow.
And yeah, I think I did like a 3-year stint in Florida, and then came back to Providence. But yeah, no, I did. I played for like many years. I wasn't very good. I was fucking awful.
I mean,
actually.
well, you're making film now. You're not in the league.
I was really bad when I started playing at Elmwood Little League. I got better when I played in Florida. And I think it's just because it was, more year round there. And that was really when I started to like dedicate myself, I think, to the sport. And so I got better there. I had dreams of like playing.
Well, you used to bring your glove to school. I don't know why you did that.
Did I?
There was no baseball, no softball.
That's hilarious.
I remember it was a big. Well, you were a little guy, but it was a big glove. and I just remember that time. And it was exciting though. Like I feel like it was something that a lot of people looked forward to doing. Is playing softball or baseball.
Yeah, and it was how I connected to my stepdad too. I think, because he was very kind of stoic, quiet. Dominican man, but I would see the way he'd light up when he played baseball, when we would talk baseball, when he coached my team every now and then as like an assistant coach for when I was at Elmwood Little League. So baseball is so intertwined with my relationship with him. Even now, still, like we talk baseball and we're like, oh, did you see the Red Sox? What happened? Oh man, the Mets. Oh, this and that. So we still like love, and he actually helped me on the film. He was our driver, and he drove us everywhere. And he would like watch the gear and like, but yeah, I mean every film I've done, I feel like always has family kind of helping me. I was
gonna say because your mom was in To Be Heard, right?
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah.
She was
so cute.
Yeah. she was, and then for Fiebre, she cooked us meals and snacks and all the things every day. So we would take that like early in the morning, and my brother flew out to help like PA, and he like ended up flying the drone and getting some key shots.
Really?
The last shot of the film was my brother flying the drone.
Oh, the sun was setting.
Yeah, I was like whispering in his ear. I was like, okay, keep flying.
No, it came out really good.
Yeah, no, he I can't imagine making a film without my family kind of helping me through it. So
I love that. It's a family affair. Yeah. But I want to talk a little bit about, and feel free to ignore this. I don't know how private you want to be. But I also mentioned that you got married recently.
Oh, yeah.
And I feel like we're in this weird time where like polygamy is a trend, and like people are like, why have one wife when I can have 5? Or why get married at all? People get divorced. And like, I feel like, I don't want to say the cliche like chivalry is dead or romance is dead, but I do think to some extent, and this is probably chalked up to the way society is, like, right, it's so chaotic, and like social media being in the mix as well. But you found love in a time where I feel like what love looks like and feels like is so different now.
Yeah.
So I'm interested in, I'm always curious to hear like, what made you ask to marry? Like, what made you ask her to marry you? Like,
oh man,
what was the thing that got you to that point?
I knew pretty early on, actually.
Really?
I was
how early? Because they say it takes like a year.
I was a month in.
What?
Yeah. I mean, you gotta remember this.
No, you're a lover boy.
Yeah, no, you gotta remember this is when my grandmother passed. I think I started to see the world very differently, and I felt like, I don't know, time was so precious, and she was one of those people that she was probably the person that checked on me the most, and like just like we would write each other letters, and she just became like my best friend, and then it was purely like a digital kind of friendship, and then we didn't talk for like a period of time, and we were like flirty here and there, but like,
of course, a little spicy.
But it was COVID, and like we couldn't see each other. I was living here in Providence, and she was in New York, so that there was just obstacles, and then I had a film that was shooting in New York, and I was gonna go be the cinematographer, and I had to get tested for COVID and all that stuff, and I was like, hey, I'm going to New York for a weekend, like, I don't know if you want to meet up. If not, let me know, and luckily she did. And then I found out later she was like, I almost flaked, but she didn't, which, thankfully she didn't. And yeah, no, we started seeing each other, and I don't know. I felt like I was being guided by like my grandmother in some way. And like, it just felt right. And so I knew like a month in, I was already looking for rings and
What?
yeah. And I rings were expensive. I had no fucking money. And so I was like, okay, I'm going to get this ring at some point, hopefully soon. And, did the freelance working. Got the ring probably like, I want to say 7 months into dating. And then I was like, okay, I ordered the ring. It was like a custom ring, so it took a couple months to come. Finally got here. Then I was like, okay, but it's got to be the right time. I don't know. And so we had a trip to Costa Rica that we kind of were just like, we deserve it. Let's go somewhere.
Just for funsies.
Yeah, because we were like, life is hard and it's fucking COVID times.
Well, they say Costa Rica is one of the most beautiful places on earth.
It was gorgeous. We still talk about like, when are we going back? But yeah, no. So I brought the ring, talked to her parents, talked to her friend, and I was like, I'm gonna do this.
This is like Love Is Blind. You watch that show?
Yes.
They're in the pods.
No,
for
we
months.
love that show.
It's a good show.
But yeah, no, I knew immediately, and she's another artist and a really good artist, a really good poet, a really good writer, community activist, a fantastic teacher. She inspires me every day. She's my favorite artist. So, and we tell each other that all the time, and it's like,
Get a load of this guy.
no,
I see why she said yes.
Yeah, she's
Just gassing her up all day.
Well, yeah, she used to get, no, she gets me up still, but that's shout out to you, baby. But no, she's fantastic, and I'm very grateful to have her on this life journey. Yeah.
Wow, that's beautiful. See that you can find love in the digital world and then meet up in real life. I think that's the key, right?
Yeah. My first interaction with her was through her poetry, through her art. And we were both following this account. It was like Dominican writers.
Oh, I love that account.
Yeah.
They put up all the books.
Yeah. And they shared some of her poetry, and I was like, who wrote this? This is gorgeous. And I was like, damn, all right, she's gorgeous. And so.
And you slid in her DM?
I slid in her DM.
What was the line? I gotta know. Like,
honestly, I don't even.
So beautiful.
I don't even know what I said, but it must have been like about her poetry for sure. It must have been just something like it really moved me or something, and I really love your writing. I hope you keep writing. I try to like tell people that when I see like art that I love, like I'm like, man, you should keep doing this because it's moving and it's gorgeous. Because there's a lot of art that doesn't have that effect on me.
Yeah.
But there's some art that does, and I feel like it's important to make that known. So that's probably what I said to her.
Wow. Yeah. I love that. Thank you for sharing that. That was beautiful.
Yeah, no, I'm happy to talk about it.
A month in, holy moly. Yeah. You are a lover boy. Some people might say that's fast. You are romantic. Well, it makes sense. I feel like artists are usually like...
I got the same, what is that? I'm a Virgo sun, Scorpio moon, Pisces rising. Same 3 as Beyonce.
Beyonce.
I got all the feels.
I love that you know that. That's funny. I think I'm a Scorpio and I'm a Taurus moon, and then most of my other like sunrise and whatever is Scorpio. I'm like mostly Scorpio. That's crazy.
That's why we get along.
That's why we get along. Come on now. But I want to talk baseball real quick before we end, because we were reminiscing on the era. I feel like it was some of the best baseball, early 2000s and late 90s. For you, who has, in terms of Dominican baseball players, who has the craziest impact in baseball?
That's a great question.
All of them.
No, for real. I mean, I think for my generation, also I'm biased. I loved watching David Ortiz. I think
yeah.
also he was just so clutch of a hitter. But
It was like the only thing he was good at, honestly.
oh man, he was fantastic. Yeah, he wasn't like a Gold Glove
Right.
anything, but he really knew how to hit the bat, and he knew how to have that confidence, and
Oh, yeah.
nothing shook him when he went up there, and that's something I really loved about him. But as far as impact to the game, I gotta call out, like, I mean, Sammy Sosa was maybe the first.
Yeah. He's like a superstar.
Yeah, Albert Pujols.
Oh, yes. Well, he won MVP in like 2003-ish.
Yeah, and he hit. He's, I think, the first player, or one of, I think he's the only player that has 703 home runs.
Wow.
So he retired like in that 700 home run club. And he continues to play on the island. He's like, I think he's coaching now.
He's old now. He's like in his 50s.
Yeah, he's coaching like one of the Dominican teams out there. But he's a phenomenal player. Manny Ramirez, Robinson Cano.
Oof.
There's so many great Dominican baseball players.
Soriano from the Yankees.
Alfonso Soriano.
He was amazing. Oh my gosh.
There's so many good.
You can't forget Pedro Martinez.
Pedro Martinez was
No hitter.
No, I mean,
no hitter game was crazy. Oh
I mean, Pedro at his best, like, hard to think of another pitcher that could match that.
It was powerful. What a powerful time. I think about Alex Rodriguez too, right?
I don't count him. No, I'm kidding.
Because he was born here. Is that what
No.
You know what? He didn't really like to claim.
No, you know why I will never listen.
Because he dated Jennifer Lopez?
No, because he slapped the ball out of Bronson Arroyo's hand in Game 6 of the 2004 ALCS. I remember that, A-Rod.
Yeah.
Why'd you do that?
The Yankees played dirty.
They did. Well, that rivalry was crazy when we were kids. Like they literally fought each other.
Yeah.
So
like a lot.
Yeah.
I'm like, it's on site every time.
Yeah. So I get it, heat of the moment, but that was one of those moments that I was like, all right, I'm done with A-Rod. Like, can't mess with that.
Yeah. Who was your favorite player?
My favorite player? Oh man, I think currently my favorite player to watch is Francisco Lindor. It's probably a tie between Lindor and Mookie Betts. I love Mookie Betts. I think he's such a fabulous baseball player and person. And so is Lindor. But Lindor's swing is just like it's like butter.
I don't know who these people are. I stopped watching baseball a long time ago, Chad.
I think you would honestly, you should watch the Mets this season.
Really?
The Mets are...
Is this bias again?
Yeah, I mean, so I grew up between Queens and Providence, but I was born in Queens. My family is a lot of Mets fans. So even though my stepdad put me on the Red Sox, I've always been also a Mets fan in the back. So that's my National League team, I always say, and my American League team is the Red Sox. But the Mets have been a team that I've been following for especially the past few years. Once the Red Sox traded Mookie, I was like, okay, I'm out. But I still have a soft spot for the Red Sox. I'll give them that. But the Mets have been a really fun team to watch. The ride they went on last year was so crazy. Like they were at one point like 17 games below 500. Like they had a shitty record. They came back and made the playoffs and faced the Dodgers in the National League Championship Series and beat the Dodgers more than the Yankees did in the World Series.
Wow.
So they put on quite a show last year, and they had a fun offseason getting Juan Soto and like some of these big names. So they're definitely a team to watch. They currently, as of today, have the best record in baseball. So I almost, as a Mets fan, I'm like, let me not say it too loud.
Right. Don't want to
but this is probably one of their best starts to the year. So I'm excited to keep watching them for sure.
That's dope. That's dope. I love that you're still tuned in. A lot of people hate on baseball. They say it's too slow. I think you're
too slow.
I think it's almost like there's an art to baseball, right?
Yeah.
Like you can't really make up moments. Like we were talking this inch by inch, second by second. But you do have this beautiful film out. called Fiebre, and it will be screening at 1017 Broad Street in Providence, Rhode Island. You came back home to share this with the community and for a good cause. I'm so upset that I will not be here for that. I will be out of town. I feel like every time I go out of town, something great is happening at home.
Oh man, I feel like
I
that
need
is
to
a
get
common
out.
thread when when we get together. You're like, oh, I'm gonna miss this thing.
Yeah.
Dang.
But I was lucky enough to watch it. Thank you for sharing. I always feel so exclusive when people share things before they release. It makes me
Of
feel
course.
like an actual journalist.
Dude, anytime.
Yeah.
I got you.
So I watched it. I will watch it again because it was just beautifully shot, and the stories and the kids, the way the coaches spoke about how much they care about the kids. And, you know, I think about how much time people spend with their coaches, right? Like they're spending practice with them, games with them, and they're building community and learning teamwork.
Yeah.
And so I think sports in general is such a beautiful way for kids to get exposed to community and to hopefully get exposed to adults who care about community as well and care about the kids that they work for. So I'm super excited for people to come out and see this. And it's in the South Side, which is on brand.
Yeah.
Right? It's very Dominican.
Yeah.
Right on Broad Street.
Had to be there.
Had to. And then I love that you put the dembo for the trailer because also tracks.
And my cousin made the beat. So
What?
Yeah.
Wow. Look at that family affair.
Yeah.
That's low budget for sure.
No, my cousin, you know, everybody has a cousin that makes beats, but my cousin actually makes some good fucking
I don't
beats.
have any cousins that make beats. So what does that say about my family?
Dang, somebody's got to be making beats.
Damn. I can't take all the jobs. So I'll leave that up to somebody else. But thank you for coming through.
Well, thank you. Thank you for having me.
Yes, of course, for spending time, for, you know, talking about the film and, you know, just being persistent and consistent in your work. I think it's really remarkable to watch, especially because I knew you. I thought you were going to be a scientist.
I thought so
And that's
too.
because the only class I remember cheating off of you.
Yeah, I was good at science.
Yeah. Here you are as a filmmaker and all the work that you do, you could tell there's so much heart in it. So I'm super proud of you.
Thank you.
And when you become rich and famous, I'm not asking for money. I'm just asking for a job. This is what I do. I'm trying to see which one of my creative friends get rich first. And I just need a good job that pays like, I don't know, like $300,000 a year.
Listen,
Something like
I got you.
Thank
Don't
you.
worry about
I'm
it.
gonna write that down and you're gonna sign this document. But where can the people follow you and find this film and you know what's happening next?
Yeah. Oh man, so much. I guess first and foremost, you can follow my work and see what I'm working on. I guess on Instagram at Steven with a V B Luna, yeah, I have a production company that I started that is, I'm looking to do more like kind of intimate documentary work, kind of showing underrepresented stories and, you know, rooted in empathy and all that. And so I founded a production company called the Cerca Films. So that,
that's yours. Okay, I saw that at the beginning.
yeah, so that's a new handle. I'm still working on the website. Sorry, y'all. But it's coming at some point. And that's another Instagram handle at the Cerca Films. And I also started another production company with some fellow friends of mine in Phoenix, Arizona, and some other phenomenal filmmakers that I love and trust. And, you know, we share the same kind of vision. And they're also incredible photographers and artists. And so Joel and Noemi, they're together. We founded this company called Ojo y Alma. And so we're also currently doing work, and there is work coming out soon under that umbrella as well. So yeah, just stay tuned on the socials, and you'll be up to date.
You're very, very busy.
And I got more projects coming. So
Fiebre is being screened Friday,
7
April
p.m.
25th, 7 p.m. Make sure you get there on time, punctual,
Yes.
because the screening is short. It's only 16 minutes long.
Yeah.
But every ticket that is bought, the proceeds will go to the Elmwood Little League,
Yeah.
which is great because they need the funds.
Yeah, supports the kids directly, like either getting gear, getting uniforms, getting bats, maintaining the fields, paying umpires for games, those sorts of things. All of it goes towards supporting the league. As I mentioned, like I played on the league. I also coached on the league as an adult. And the commissioner actually is the one that called me, Sean Rubin. He's fantastic. But commissioner of the league called me and was like, hey, like, I know you got this film. Like, would you want to do a fundraiser? Opening day is April 26th. We could do it the day before. And I was like, absolutely. So
they're pushing this film as well on their end.
Yeah.
Good.
So, no one's going to be turned away at the door for like lack of funds. If you just want to come and watch the film, please come watch the film. You don't have to give money. If you feel compelled to give some money to the league, then purchase a ticket, but come through.
Yes, that's beautiful. Thank you so much. You said, what, can people donate? Yes, they can. There is a link on a QR code on your page.
Yep.
I'll post up the the flyer as well. So you can go on my Instagram, ChristinaSev _. And remember what I said, don't you dare put an H. I know that a lot of people are used to putting H in Christina. Yeah, come on. With the accent. Yeah. So yes, Fiebre will be coming out Friday. And then hopefully it'll be online for people to view as well.
Yeah, I mean, so I think I got like 17-ish, 15-ish film festivals I'm waiting to hear back from. So it's still kind of in the festival circuit. Okay. So it's going to make the rounds, hopefully for a little bit longer. And then once it's done there, it will be released publicly online.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah.
All right, Fiebre is out now. Beautiful job well done. And
thank you.
Thank you for coming through. Spark Up Podcast episode with Steven Luna. Thank you.
Thank you
again.
So much.
And like, share, comment, subscribe. Tell a friend to tell a friend. Spark Up Podcast.
Heyo.